The pressure is on. The Tennessee Valley Vipers must win tonight to stay alive for the Arena Football 2 League Championship. Tonight, the Vipers hosted the Manchester Wolves in the league's version of the Final Four. Here, Vipers quarterback Kevin Eakin hooks up with Alonzo Nix. That's a touchdown, and the Vipers take an early 7-0 lead. The Wolves try to answer, though. It's Brian Jones. Mr. Jones is looking, and guess what? Looking in all the wrong places. Desmond Foster picks off the pass and says, no, not in our house. Now the Vipers make the Wolves pay moments later. It's Eakin one more time to Nix again. That's another touchdown. That made it 14-0. Right now it's late in the fourth quarter, and the Vipers have a 45-28 lead. Speaking of postseason play, the Huntsville Stars still have a chance to win the Southern League's North Division second half race, but it's not going to be easy. The Stars enter tonight's game against Chattanooga, 8.5 games behind first place Carolina. Guess what? News Channel 19's Jerry Hayes in the house tonight with Tools for Schools winners. We'll pick it up now at the bottom of the first. It's Michael Brantley at the plate for the Stars. He drills one right there into the left center field gap. He winds up at second base with a double. Next up, it's Alcides Escobar for Huntsville, and watch what happens on this play. The broken bat right there, the grounder to short. He's out at first, but Brantley scores from third, and that gave the Stars a 1-0 lead. Your next batter is Angel Salome, and guess what? Mr. Salome dials long distance. That's a solo home run to straightaway center field. That gave Huntsville a 2-0 lead, but the Lookouts have stormed back. Right now, Chattanooga has an 8-7 ninth inning lead. Dominating the opposition. That's what the U.S. men's basketball team has accomplished at the Summer Olympics in Beijing. Today, the Americans won their fourth straight game in China. The U.S. belted Spain 119-82. LeBron James led the way with 18 points. Carmelo Anthony and Dwayne Wade each added 16 for the Americans. Not golden, but still a silver lining. Huntsville's Margaret Holzer swam a great race last night in the women's 200-meter backstroke. She couldn't catch fellow American and former Auburn roommate Kirsty Coventry in the last 30 meters. Coventry actually won the gold in world record time, 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Still, though, a great showing for Holzer. Well, if you had a museum honoring Babe Ruth, wouldn't it be near a baseball field? Well, there's a Jesse Owens Museum in Lawrence County, but after opening a decade ago, there's still no track honoring the star of the 1936 Summer Olympics. It stands out like a beacon in the night, a statue of Lawrence County native Jesse Owens.
Area in the low part here, that was designated for the track, and all we do now is keep it mowed and just wait on the funding until we can get it built. And the higher part you see up on the bank, that's where the bleachers would go.
James Pinion has a passion in life. He wants Lawrence County's most decorated athlete to be honored in the ultimate way, with a track.
Frustrating that we don't have it yet, because that was his trademark, and the plan won't be completed until we get the track.
Here's mighty Jesse Owens and the form and power that on his final jump won him another Olympic gold medal.
Owens won 4 track and field gold medals at the 1936 Summer Olympics in Berlin. Athletes then had no starting blocks, and the tracks weren't nearly as sophisticated as they are now. Pinion thinks Owens could still dominate his sport today.
Today they have the rubberized track, they have the wind-resistant uniforms, they have the starting blocks, the lightweight, shoes that makes everything faster. And I believe under those conditions he'll still beat them all.
Lawrence County officials opened the Jesse Owens Museum in Oakville back in 1998, their way of saluting Owens' athletic accomplishments. But 10 years later, still no track.
Well, the first of the year we applied for a $250,000 grant in the U.S. Representative Bud Kramer's office, and hope that we haven't heard from that one yet, but if we got that, that would build a track.
I contacted Congressman Bud Kramer's office. He said Jesse Owens is a historically and culturally a significant figure in American history, but he did not comment on whether Jesse Owens Museum would be getting the actual funding, and it's going to be about $250,000 is what they're going to need.
Yeah, that's a very nice museum, and it's close by. People ought to get out and take a look at it.
Oh, most definitely. They only have about 5,000 visitors a year is what Mr. Pinion was telling me, so you should get out and enjoy it. It's really a nice facility.
All right. Thank you, Barry.
Sure.
We'll be right back.
With 100-degree temperatures in the forecast for the next few days, the Decatur High School football coaching staff has a plan to deal with the heat. It's the first day of two-a-days. The Red Raiders joined the rest of the state football teams Monday on the practice field, the very hot practice field.
You're always as concerned about the heat as you are, you know, your kids, coaching the game. You set up practices to handle the heat and the water breaks, the time constraints, and what you're trying to do.
One of the best ways for these players to beat the heat is to drink lots of water.
With this heat out here that we're in every day, I've learned throughout my past 2 years up at Decatur High School that drinking a gallon of water is probably the best thing you can do.
Decatur Dr. Frederick Jones agrees.
Big thing is to make sure you stay well hydrated. You got to drink plenty of water. Gatorade, Powerade, those kinds of drinks really help because they replenish electrolytes.
Dr. Jones says he's seen plenty of patients this summer with heat-related illnesses. That's something Coach Adcock hopes he can prevent.
You just have to use a lot of common sense, and you just have to pray for a breeze and a cloud. That's what you do.
And maybe a raindrop every now and then, too. Reporting in Decatur, Barry Hiett, WADE 31 News. Ronnie, I can tell you this was a great matchup because both teams were undefeated, so obviously something had to give tonight. Let's head over to Ogle Stadium, check out the highlights in this one, and see what happened. And you know what? The Decatur Water Boys say, hey, we're number one. We'll find out in just a few minutes. Late second quarter, Bucks on the move. It's Jesse Stoner, a 20-yard run. Very nicely done right there. But the drive stalls, and the Bucks are down 14-0 at halftime. Now let's move to the third quarter. Red Raiders on the move. Will Laughlin back to pass, but watch what happens. Travis Birchfield ends that drive with the pick. Later, it's Buckhorn's Logan Traylor back to pass, and watch what happens. Shaquille Wallace picks it off. Close range touchdown. That's an interception. That made it 21-0. And Decatur wins pretty easily tonight. 27-7 is your final, so the Red Raiders remain unbeaten. Our next stop this evening is West Morgan. The Rebels hosting Rogers. It's homecoming tonight for the Rebels. And yeah, there were some 31 fans in the house, you betcha. First quarter action now. It's Austin Kerr to Judson Stevens. 15 yards on the play. That is a touchdown. Rogers had a 7-0 lead, but the Rebels strike back on their next possession. William Jackson, the quarterback, rolls to his left and spots a wide open Jonathan Tucker. And check it out. He's breaking tackles left and right, 76 yards on the play and the touchdown. That made it 7-6 after the extra point was missed. Rebels, though, come up short tonight. Your final, Rogers wins it 30-18. So two pretty entertaining games tonight over here in Morgan County. Ronnie, we'll send it back to you now.